Have our Tesla bots do backflips for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I like the funny the videos and stuff, but like, with the AI now, it's getting so hard to tell. And someone made up a point, like maybe AI becoming so hard to tell might be a good thing. And I was like, why? And they're like, maybe you'll get people off of social media because they're just so sick of not being able to tell what's real or fake. And I was like, damn, that's kind of, because I'm getting to that point. I'm like, bro, and I think this is a pivotal moment in like society right now of telling whether it's AI or not. And I haven't done enough research to look at it, but like the shooting that just happened with the Alex, what's his last name?
Pretty
guy. And now there's a new video where he's like kicking a van or something. Mm-hmm. He's like kicking a truck, and people are like, yo, that looks like AI, and people can't tell if it's A or not. And I'm like, that is something that we should not even be having a discussion if it's AI or not. Like, that's scary.
That's scary.
Like, now it's like, okay,
there's a bunch of AI doctored footage and photos of a lot of, not just Alex Pretty, but Renee Good and like several other people. Just like when the White House or the ICE fucking Instagram posts their shit, they literally like make the victims look more distraught than they are. It's crazy. Like there's like Photoshop and AI renderings of like people crying excessively, and it's like they're stone cold, they're stone faced, but they like make them look weak and they doctor them in photos. It's fucking
weird,
wild.
bro.
We're not usually a political podcast.
Get rid of
but
No, let's talk politics. It just, I guess a final bit on it is, the advent of the information age was suddenly this huge turning point. Wars, communication could happen suddenly. And now, you think in World War II, like you win World War II through the use of propaganda. And I'm not saying everybody's out to brainwash you. That's not what I'm saying.
But they are there to get interaction.
You're there to get interactions. You're there to sway the vote and like the empathy of the people that you're ostensibly fighting for.
Right.
And so nowadays it's getting harder and harder to tell what information is accurate. And just like you were saying, I mean, I was literally thinking the same thing not too long ago. I'm so sick of social media. I can't stand social media. Like the only reason I'm on Instagram now is just because I started DJing, and it's like, oh yeah, that's how everybody navigates.
Promote yourself.
Yeah. And it's a pain in the butt, and there's a lot to sift through.
Yeah, I think especially too, like I grew up with like Facebook, and like Facebook was easy going, and like now I'll like watch like Facebook like reels or whatever, but like just seeing, like we've had this conversation before of like we have family members that just like post shit of like older family members, and they can't tell what's real or not, and they post it, or it'll just be so politically divided and stuff. And I'm just like, bro, I started this shit just playing Farmville. I just give me back. I just want Farmville. Yeah,
I found Spotify through Facebook.
Can we go back to just poking each other? And
yeah, I just want to poke.
That's the worst influence that we have.
I just want to poke, please. Yeah, it's crazy, but fuck
Dude,
it.
I don't know. Social media will be the death of us all. It's okay.
On that note.
Welcome to the Final Mix podcast with your boy Papa Bean and REM Juice.
Yeah.
Excited to have you guys.
Oh man, that's great. Welcome to episode 304. Now we're on, and yes, our guest Papa Bean, Gabe.
Bean.
Dude, thank you so much for coming and being on the final mix with us.
It is an honor to be here.
Dude. When did we meet? I'm trying to remember an exact time.
So it's one of two things. I've thought about this a little bit. Either at some random event at TK Lounge,
probably
which is like
TK Lounge,
the nexus of every DJ in Tampa, seems like.
Very true.
So either that or one of the like beach events.
Yeah.
I think I knew of you before the Kennessee's beach event.
Right.
But that's like the first memory that I have of us interacting for longer than 5 seconds.
I was going to say that.
Which is officially my threshold to knowing somebody.
I think that's fair. You can meet someone, but not really meet them. You can shake their hand and maybe get their name, but you forget it like 2 seconds later. But yeah, I think we met at TK Lounge and we reconnected and really like got to know each other with the beach parties.
I think that sounds right.
So, and then you guys just met for the first time. Oracle. Being Oracle.
Hey. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Wait, how did we end up here?
What happened last night? Gasparilla happened last night.
Gasparilla.
And you said you just hung out with the fam, right?
Yeah, last night was just a day with the family. I've had my fair share of Gasparilla adventures, and I didn't really have any interest in it this year, and no shame on anybody that did. It's not for me anymore.
Hey, the weather was not great, so you picked a good one to sit out.
So I heard.
Yeah, this was not the one to go out and just stay outside.
Did
all
they
day.
shorten the route? They did everything.
Yeah, they
make
did. Yeah, they. I'm surprised they shortened the route. Which I was looking. I was looking the other day. I don't know if I told you about this, but I was looking. I was like, I think Gasparilla might be canceled, and I was like, you know what? Let me see. Has Gasparilla ever been canceled? Right. And it's been going on, I think, since like 1904, something crazy, something fucking crazy. And I was like, okay, so I'm reading it, like it says, it's been canceled several times, but the three main times is World War I, World War II, and COVID.
And COVID. Wow.
Every other time in history, go for it.
Rain or shine.
And I was like, they're
Vietnam
not
War
gonna
draft.
cancel it.
Not having it.
Nope. They're like, only when the whole world is fighting and the whole world is dying. They'll stop Gasparilla.
That's valid.
80s recession, 08 recession, good to go. Let's
Good
make
to
it
go.
happen. Pirates got some booty to get. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah. Are you kidding me? I feel like 08 recession is exactly what Gasparilla was made for.
It's time to pillage. But yeah, I was like, yeah, they're not canceling this.
No.
There's no way.
Ain't no fucking way. We're not leaving.
I heard there was supposed to be some snow if you were out at all last night. Was there any?
So I saw some people. It was supposed to be. I was asleep by then, but it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But it was a little bit north. I saw some reports of like Hernando County. And then there was some videos from very, very north Florida. There was some snow, but I didn't really see any.
We were up 42 floors. We were in the Tampa Club for Gatsby, and Jake said that he witnessed snowflakes.
He said, I felt something on my face. It could have been somebody spitting at me, but I felt what I thought was a snowflake.
I'd like to choose that it was the snow.
I
for
think
sure.
so.
Imagine if it was just,
Fuck you. Who are you?
who are you? Well, speaking of which,
Beads.
fucking someone launches 142 floors up. But less about Gasparilla, more about our guy, Papa Bean over here.
Heyo.
What you been up to, dude? What you been working on?
Honestly, man, lately it's been a lot of figuring out the kinds of sounds that I want to support. And I don't know, that may sound a little generic, but for anybody that knows me or that's been in my circle, they know that I'm pretty deliberate about what I like to play. But I'm also very aware of the fact that I'm still fairly new to the scene. You know, I mentioned to you earlier, I started really doing this DJ thing seriously a little over a year and a half ago. And I'm always making mistakes, but nowadays, it's really digging into the crates, seeing more sounds that I like, finding somebody else that's playing something new and digging a little into that. Not too long ago, I was put on by my man Brian Busto at a Serious Soul shows.
Oh, nice.
And
Brian
on that
is
night,
that guy,
he is that guy. And I played a little bit of electro in that set, like old school electro, and that was just fun. So I'm finding ways to put things together. Concretely, playing some shows with some friends. Last few weeks, I've been quite busy. My man Jazz put on another beach party over on the Causeway. Cool. Beautiful day. That was
perfect.
Oh, yeah.
it was a beautiful day. I got to open up with some like classic New York Latin house, that soul kind of feel, and that's like been right up my alley the last few weeks. Like I'm super about that sound right now. And then the next day, my boy Charlie, aka Zero Proof,
Yes.
love that guy. He did an event in Anna Maria Island.
Oh, cool.
And that was so much fun. It was me, him, and Livy Baby. And
nice.
it was just a solid like 6 hours of just straight up classic house, like soulful, deep.
That's
like
so
Anna
dope.
Maria.
Oh
Wow.
my God. It was so beautiful. And he'll tell you, like, I was so just in bliss all day because it was like a nice, slightly windy day. This was last Sunday. So whatever the weather was that day. And we had these palm trees going up, and the owners of the restaurant, or the cafe, North Shore Cafe, plug. They were the friendliest people. They offered us, food, and their drinks were the bomb. And they're like behind the counter people. They came up with this custom menu for us. And what did I even have? It was like a mango coconut something or other.
Wow.
And it was delicious. And it was a day of just lounging out with some good like soulful stuff. Great time.
Dude, shout out North Shore Plaza.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's cool. Yeah, I haven't really done much in Anna Maria besides fishing. So that's kind of cool that there's starting to be like a music scene down there.
I don't even know. I don't even know if you can call it that. It was really, this is just a connection that I made with Charlie.
Okay.
That he and I we click a lot musically, and he knows that I've been trying to do some more classic house type stuff. And one day he's like, "Hey, my sister, she and her husband own this business, and they want to put us on for something." He had his wedding there a couple of years back.
Cool.
And they're just good people over there, and everybody that came in was very friendly, and they tried to tip us, and they were just it was just a very good vibe. I think all around, which is 100% all I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's awesome because Charlie Zero Proof has been putting on for all of his people. He got me involved with Bosque Restaurant, which is, I guess, like right downtown, right across the river, actually. And they're just a nice little bakery restaurant. I did helped out with their install, and I'm excited to see what they do. Hopefully we'll start playing there more, But, yeah, Livy Baby and Zero Proof are two people we should probably have on the podcast at some point.
Livy Baby,
I don't think we haven't had Livy. We had Mishi, but we did not have Livy yet.
Mishi. Shout out Mishi.
I met her for the first time.
You met Mishi for the first
She
time?
was one I've had like 6, maybe 7 seconds of interaction with her at this
Wow.
point.
Cool. Yeah, she's nice. She's
we
good.
we met very briefly. This was at one of Sook G's events, a boogie
yeah.
ramp. We did kind of this like take on disco funk thingy at a skate park in St. Pete,
Cool.
Anchor Skate Supply, and that was another very fun day. But it was again just very kind of relaxing vibes. People just showed up, and it was like disco funky. And Mishi showed up, and she did her thing, and
Cool.
I was like, "Oh my god, hey, I've seen you online. Nice to meet you."
She's cool. We interviewed her pretty early on.
First season, yeah.
Yeah, and she stays busy.
Yeah, she does. She
She's
stays
like,
booked.
I'm gonna DJ on a volcano this week. Like the craziest fucking shit. Like, all right, go for it. She actually just announced that she's gonna start going more. I just saw a video. She's gonna go more into like making her own music. She's stepping away from the residency that she has at the Landing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, might have to get in there on the Landing situation.
Yeah, what's the situation on taking over the residency? Are we doing raffle,
Yeah.
like golden ticket,
Hey,
Wonka style?
Mishi, what the fuck is the plan for
I need
us?
my chocolate bars right now.
My
I get my
chocolate-
golden ticket.
Give me that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mishi's
well, that's cool. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about DJing, right? Because you mentioned that you don't really produce right now. Speaking of which, like producing and everything. What is it like for you being a DJ that is focused on DJing, not producing or not playing your music? Because, that's the big thing now. Is
Yeah,
like,
everyone's switching to that. So why are you choosing this route?
So again, for proof and receipts, just ask my friend group, right? When I first got into this was like a big pivotal point for me in my life, just to start exploring this as a hobby. Growing up, my goal was to like finish college and get a home, which I did in Riverview, which I did about
good
3
goal.
years ago.
There you go. Congrats.
Thank you.
Boom.
And when I finished doing that and accomplishing that goal, I was like, okay, finally, let me explore this creative side of me, which growing up had always been finding music, curating playlists, and just, I don't know, listening to new things. It was never about showcasing anything about myself other than the fact like, hey, I found this tune. My love language is to tell you how this makes me feel and how I think it applies to your situation. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
Years ago, I remember like a lot of very important memories to me were just songs. You know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of people relate to that, where it's just certain songs mean something to you.
Right.
And so nowadays, when it applies to me, I only don't produce because I just don't have the time right now to learn. I'm so focused on just finding new stuff. So when I'm getting ready for a set, my first thought is, how does the music that I'm listening to now appeal to or support the vision that my friend has, and why did they bring me on to do that? You know what I mean?
I got you.
So I try very hard to be a curator to meet that side of things. You know what I mean? People like the sounds that they like, and I like the sounds that I like. So at this point, music to me is my creative outlet to like showcase, hey, here's the palette that I chose for you to hear today.
I love that. Yeah.
Music is my creative, that's my paintbrush. You know what I mean? So I don't feel the need to produce just yet because I have done such a good job over the course of my life tooting my own horn that I can say, I like my palette the way it sounds just by finding things. You know, I've got an ear that I won't play songs that I don't like. Now, at the same time, again, I will be
Yeah.
the first to admit that I suck at mixing, man. Like I do nice, simple transitions. I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm still learning things. And at the end of the day, I want to let the tunes play out. I'm excited about certain melodies, and I want you to hear certain melodies. Like right now, my favorite track is called it's either When the Rain Falls or just The Rain Falls, and it's a song by Eric Kupper, and it's this deep soulful sound where the chorus comes in and it's this woman singing When the Rain Falls, and I just like that makes me feel something. And when I see other people feel that thing, like either they're sitting at a table eating their lunch and I see them moving their head, that tells me, okay, I've done my job.
Gotcha.
You know, I've helped paint the picture for them. So, long-winded answer too.
So
No, that's
it's very
beautiful.
much so about, hey, I like these sounds. I want to see if you'll like them too, and then you kind of get this thing of like, okay, they understand why I like it so much.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of hitting this wavelength of like, okay, we're liking it for the same reason. This is cool. You're appreciating music the way I'm appreciating it. That's cool. That's a cool perspective. That is very different than I would say we've heard before.
It's definitely an older perspective on DJing too, because nowadays it's, I mean, the kids, they want to show people their sound, and I get that, but I don't, no, and this is no fault of anybody's
careful.
own. I know I'm treading
Be
on hard
careful.
water.
No,
when
let
you're
him have it.
20,
Let him
when
have
you're
it.
20 years old, how are you going to make music when you don't even play it? How are you
Oh
gonna,
my
how
god!
how are you
How
gonna
could you
ma-
say that?
Because like you and I, we were
Cancel.
making hip hop at 20 years old, but we were also performing hip hop at 20
were
years old.
performing,
And
we
like we knew
played
we'd
instruments.
we've been listening to Trap Nation since we were fucking 15, 16.
Yeah,
like
even when I was like fucking 8 years. Well, remember growing up in a Hispanic household, there's always music. But then like even my dad would show me house music at like fucking 10 years old. Like
and the bar was set a lot higher then too. Now
Yeah.
it's like, people are, you can put out your song for nothing. So it's like,
Yeah.
It gets diluted. But
Let me ask you both this question. This goes to both of you because I think the answer that I have to this question is important too. So I'm going to lead
Okay.
into my answer later.
all right.
Do you guys have that like first memory of hearing something that resonated with you?
100%.
And okay, so you answered that right away.
No.
How does that shape the way you approach things now?
I got you. Should I go first?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first song, I would say there's probably a couple. The first rap song that I learned every lyric to was Lupe Fiasco's Superstar.
That whole album I had on repeat just as a kid. I
Yeah,
remember.
it's a great album. It's a great album. That was the first one, but I think the first like song that I remember like hearing or like I would say album was because my dad always played house music before, and there was always salsa, and but that was when I was younger and stuff. It was just kind of like there everywhere. The first time that I heard a song, I want to say was, and I remembered it, was always riding around in a car, which I always listen to music when I'm in a car. I have to. I cannot not do it. Even if there was a time I didn't have speakers, I would just play it on my phone and just like listen to music. But was the Graduation album by Kanye, and it was I want to say Good Morning. It was that whole album, but really I would say that it was Can't Tell Me Nothing, and I was like, this like makes me want to fucking just rage out and like nod my head, and like you feel something. And like that album, the first three Kanye albums, like Piece of Shit now, and I don't agree with a lot of his shit, but his first three albums changed me dramatically, because I was like, you can be somebody who can make really good beats, you can have really good lyricism, you can have a fashion statement, you can be everything in one, and like be opinionated. And it was like, for me, it was like, that's how I want to make music. Like, it's just, Kanye has this thing of like, he is purely him, and he puts his lyrics like so, he has a different flow than everybody. He has like at least at that time, just such a different personality. You can be who you want to be, and then people listen to it and agree with it and like see your perception of it. And I thought that was so cool in music. And I thought it was the production alone was just like, even that Graduation album was like, he had a lot of new sounds at the time. They were brand new sounds and meshing shit. And then you go back to his later albums, a lot of it's like older school hip hop or like still new. It was just cool. It was so cool to have like an old school feeling with like new school beats. It was so dope. Personally.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. For me, I listened to a lot of music growing up. There wasn't a time in my life where there wasn't music playing behind me. So it's kind of weird because
You grew up in it.
I grew up in it, and when you grow up in it, you don't.
And your dad
like-
is a
Yeah, like you just, I don't know, like you don't appreciate it, I guess, as much because it's just your way of life, right? And like, yeah, I would hear things where I grooved with and stuff like that, but again, you don't really get a real sense of that until you're a little bit older, in my opinion. And the one piece of media that I remember going back and listening to time and time again was Pink Floyd's The Wall. And that one always just stuck with me because of, again, the nuance of sounds, the fact that it was so groundbreaking at such an early point, the fact that they had a whole visual album to go with it that you could just fucking trip out on. And then just everything about it, it's such good music. It's still revered as like one of the best albums of all time, and there's a reason for that. So that Pink Floyd and The Who as well, Who's Next, they really influenced like my music selection abilities and production style and stuff like that. What about you?
Well, first and foremost, I think collectively, something that all three of us would agree on is that the music that moves us most is more likely than not music that has something to say.
yeah.
You know, like the Kanye, those albums, yeah, I felt hit so hard and people wanted to listen because they were saying something in those albums that people resonated with on their own.
Oh yeah.
They weren't just noise, you know? And I guess objectively, it's hard to be objective about what music has something to say or what
Right.
music is saying something, but it is something you feel. And my big bombshell here is that growing up, the album that I remembered listening to the most as a kid, this was like in the car, I had my little CD player, and I remember I used to love getting in the car because I had this CD, and it was the Shrek soundtrack, dude.
Ah,
I
yeah.
kid you not.
That's
I
a
kid
good
you
one.
not, dude.
I'll give you that.
All like 35 or
Shrek
40
1
minutes.
specifically.
Bro.
It was a little green disc with his face on it.
Hey now.
Yes,
You're
sir.
not-
And I
Bro.
had a little blue CD player that I would, every time I got in the car, if I wasn't in the car with that thing, and Mom will testify to this, I was upset. Like I needed to have
was
something
upset.
to listen to. You know?
Do the roar.
And I think a lot of what shaped the way I consume music was rooted in like the sense of stability and comfort and things like that. So I didn't grow up, without saying too much, I didn't grow up in like the most stable household. And, you know, it was just a good place to be able to find something, listen to it for hours on repeat. If I was on the bus, it was, you know, Lupe Fiasco's The Cool. It was
Yeah.
Wale Attention Deficit at the time.
Cool.
You know, like not that I'm a major hip hop head now, but
Yeah.
listening to those things over and over with just something to have in the background eventually became, in high school, I was very grateful. My family got me a car that I would use to get myself to and from school after soccer practice, because I went to school out in Robinson. I grew up in Citrus Park, so about a 45-minute drive.
Okay.
It's a long drive. And one of my defining personality traits, because everybody has one in high school, was the music that I consumed. And I remember the hours that I would spend scouring YouTube. Shout out to Majestic Casual, the channel where I discovered Disclosure and discovered
Nice.
Snake Hips and
Love Disclosure.
and some other, like, I don't know, just, you know, indie electronica names back in,
Yeah.
like, what was this, 12, something like that?
012.
Yeah. And I would spend hours YouTube ripping, and I would agonize over the placement of those songs in curated playlists. This was before I ever considered DJing. And I would listen to those playlists in my car with my little custom stereo thing that had an LED light thingy on it and a little Penguin USB. And I loved the hell out of that thing.
That's awesome.
You know, just because of the hours that I would spend, similarly, had to have something playing in the car.
Yeah.
You know, but that was my time to just kind of reflect, think, and just remember what I was listening to. Like that was, you know, it was just a form of escapism, I guess.
Oh, 100%.
The healthiest
It's
form.
It's yeah.
Yeah. You know, and I remember to this day, like, I don't know what happened to all those playlists. I don't know what happened to them. I feel really bad because sometimes I want to go back to them, you know,
Same.
but
Yeah.
That Penguin USB is
the
somewhere.
Penguin USB is floating around in someone's dumpster.
Damn. That's you ever try to like find that a penguin like USB like online and
No, you know, it's funny. I did consider just getting a novelty USB because I thought it would be funny and on brand. But nowadays, I just use this one that has a little candlestick on it.
Nice.
Oh,
Keychain.
sick. Kind of looks like a lighter.
No. But yeah, no, that was very formative for me, you know, and the time to just spend curating, like, I'm sure you guys relate to this, like your friends ask you, hey, can you help us put together a playlist for this party, or you know, oh, man, I remember there was one time we had this party and they asked me for a playlist and it was like 4 hours, and this was again before DJing, and I was like, oh, let me put this all in order for you.
That's cool though.
And it was like a Bad Bunny track, and it came out on Spotify as the karaoke version. And so we're like in the middle of this party, and then it's just this random dude going, "Ah!" And I was
That's
like,
incredible.
that's my moment of shame right there, because I didn't
Yeah.
double check. But
Who put this on?
Put this fucking song on.
Oh God. No, that's awesome. I think with music, yeah, all meaningful music says something, and like me, you know, there's some music that I don't like. I don't think it says anything. And there's some people, they're like, yeah, it says something to me. I think music is like feelings, right? I think you learn this in relationships too, right? Your feelings are valid, right? Everyone has their feelings and what they want to feel, and they need something to resonate with them. So music any music can be that feeling to that person. So you can't say that their feelings are wrong.
Right.
Like, I could think this is absolute fucking shit.
and I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
And then they're like, no, but it makes me feel this. And it's like, yeah, but it's just fucking noise. And like, maybe that comes to like people not appreciating other music. Like, you know, it's like, here's a good way. Like, there's some J. Cole songs that like I think are like really super dope. And then my uncle, who's like more of a hip hop, you know, old head and whatever, he's like, bro, he's just like a younger version of like, or new age like Common. And I'm like, damn. And then I listen to Common. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't really know about it. I'm like, I kind of do prefer. I think there's kind of a lack of knowledge of music. I'm not saying that the J. Cole stuff is bad or whatever, but I think there's stuff that maybe says a little more. And I think that's kind of like you're saying, like now there's a lot of shit that is just noise. There's just noise. And we were just having this conversation before, like Travis Scott. I was never a fan of Travis Scott because he has shit lyrics. Like, they're just not that great.
He's also a bit of a twat, so I've heard.
Yes, yeah. And then, but then, like, I really appreciated his beats.
We're going to bleep that, right? Just in case Travis Scott ever asks me to open.
We have him on
It's
next
fine.
week.
It's fine.
Just canceled.
He's gonna break your laptop. He's gonna come in the middle of your set and just smash your CDJs.
just go crazy. But like, then I really started appreciating his beats. And then I heard this interview with Pusha T, who was like, yeah, but what does he really say? And it brought me back to my old self. I'm like, he doesn't really say shit in his music. And it's just like such a weird thing of like what you appreciate. What's the feeling that you're getting with it? You know, like,
Yeah.
And I think that's why like listening to music in your car is like a form of comfort or therapy, because you're by yourself. You're expressing your true self, or you just need to fucking release, you know, this fucking tension, whatever. And you listen, it's just you and the music that makes you help you feel that way. If I'm sad, I listen to sad music. If I'm happy, I listen to happy music. If I'm trying to get pumped up for a workout, I'm gonna listen to maybe some fucking Creed or something. Maybe if I'm sad, I listen to Creed.
Oh man, I definitely, you know, a couple of moments where you just need to shed a couple of tears. You're like, all right, here's some Mitski. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And we're
there
ready
you
to go.
That's how it is, you
Yeah.
know. It's music is just something, and it's art. But then, you know, like all art should be appreciated. But at what point is that music comparable to like that art of the banana on the wall with tape on it? You know, it's like that's shit. That's fucking shit. There has to be a point where it's like that's kind of shit.
Hey, like you said, it's art. It's in the eye of the beholder. If someone's gonna pay for it, if someone's gonna listen to it, there's something out there for them to
I
listen
guess
to
so.
and pay for.
I do think it is important. Like, being as opinionated as I am on what I like to listen to, I hate coming off as the jerk who shits on somebody else's tastes. You know, like that's the farthest thing that I would ever want to be. It is hard to like feign interest sometimes, but I am 100%. My brand is, my personality has been built on just putting on other people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what it is you want to do. If you want to do something and you feel that it moves you a certain way, I will help guide you in a way, if you ask, to do the best that you can do, you know? I've had people, like, again, I don't produce, but I've had a couple of people be like, hey, can you help me listen to this and see what it might need in this track that I'm putting in?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, I don't produce, but sure, I'll give you my opinion.
Right.
Is this what you're going for? Oh, I think it needs a little bit more kick here, or I think you need to pull it back a little bit. I take no pleasure in coming across as a guy who has like an ego. Like we all have one, and I will promote what I can to the best of my ability, but I do think, like you said, art is subjective and everybody's entitled to their own impression of their own art. Let me have my impression of mine. You know what I mean? And that's like, I would never expect anybody to always reciprocate what I would give out. It's just like, this is just how I want to navigate. Again, this whole thing came about as a hobby, as a way for me to express myself. And I get to meet cool people like you guys. That's just how it's been the last 2 years. And slowly growing that, and I'm totally cool with what comes in the timeline that it may. So,
yeah, I think just like sitting here talking about, I'm just thinking about like, I think art is really good when it's something that you can't do yourself. I think that makes you have a greater appreciation. And like art back then, you have like Beethoven, which who the fuck is gonna do that shit? That's like crazy shit, composing and all that.
give me 3 months, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, so right, and then you have music now, and then there's like you have rock, which is really cool. You're playing an instrument that nobody can. You're creating this whole new like wave and stuff. You have early hip hop where it's like, damn, how the fuck did he think to say that? And I think now it's like all the music now, it's like that's the thing with like music becoming so easily accessible. It's a good thing because everybody can express themselves, but it's another thing because it gets watered down. You don't have to work on your craft so hard. And now I think I hear a lot of music. I'm like, bro, I could just fucking do that shit. I know 100 other people who are doing the exact same shit. It's not that doesn't fucking get me excited versus like when I heard the Kanye, I'm like, bro, how the fuck do you do these sounds? How the fuck did you come up with this? How did you think to say this? How did you do the visuals? Or like even to like earlier hip hop, like the lyricism of like how the fuck could you think on a poet level and then put this poet level shit to a beat that you had to use an MPC and sample it and break it down. And it's like, it's so much work that how could you not appreciate it versus now it's like, hey, I found this AI beat. I found like this AI artist and I just put it on here. Like, what do you think of it? Like, I don't know. I think I want to fucking drown myself. I don't know. Like it's.
I think I want to delete the track and then kill myself.
Yeah, I think I want to smash your computer. You fuck. But,
it's really sad actually because I was just thinking while you were saying that, like all that went into making music, not even 15, 20 years ago to now, you can either just AI the beat or drop splice samples. Either way, just like either loop your beat or AI your beat. At least if you're looping your beat, you're doing it yourself. And then you can AI the lyrics. You can AI someone to sing the lyrics for you. Then you can AI the fucking art and just upload that shit, and people will consume it because the algorithm triggers the algorithm. So like it's like you're not even making music for someone to listen to. You're listening, like you're just putting it out there for the algorithm to fucking chew up. Like
it's like jacking off. It's the easiest, quickest way versus having an intense love making session of your favorite actress that you've dreamed about having, amazing sex. It's like put in the work, put in the effort,
bro.
Sweat out a little bit. Don't just hide in the bathroom and jack it. You know what I'm saying?
Don't just jack it.
It's too easy.
That's all you're doing out there.
You're just jacking yourself. Go out, get ripped, make money, and
pull out.
You hear that, folks? Stop jerking off right now.
God's watching.
Go out there. Fuck some music.
Yeah, fuck some music. Don't jack off to it.
I want to bring it back just a little bit.
Yes, please. Let's bring it back.
Maybe
we're going off the ropes here.
So you mentioned earlier that like back in the day, the process of making music was so intertwined with somebody's like surroundings and their ability to access the tools of production, which nowadays it's still cost prohibitive for the average Joe, but it's a lot more accessible than it has ever been.
Right.
And there are tools to emulate a lot of the other more sophisticated things that people used to do. But I think one of my favorite things to explore generally is just the context behind why a particular sound was made. And, as a househead, I grew up listening to a lot of like Colombian cumbia and vallenatos. My dad was Colombian, and that was always around the house. My mom used to listen to a lot of freestyle.
Freestyle.
A lot of freestyle, and then my grandparents used to listen to a lot of big band. Glenn Miller was like the song of my childhood, or the artist of my childhood, and a lot of what happened musically from Beethoven onwards up until maybe the 80s was what's available in my area, what sounds are there happening regionally at best, locally at worst, and can I expand on that? So in the house scene, starting from Chicago, it was internationally disco that died and then became this quantized phenomenon just in the warehouse in Chicago. Okay, when I was digging into that, it was like, well, why did they have to make it quantized? Like, what was it about it that made it sound like that? Oh, these guys were just pioneering off the cool bits of the songs that they liked from disco and looping it because that's the part that they wanted to party to.
Right.
All right, well, why did it change? What happened to it? And yet, funnily enough, a lot of this digging into just house music came about because of the show The Get Down on Netflix. Did you guys watch that
No,
show?
I've never seen that.
You've seen it.
I've
Okay.
seen it, yeah.
So let me
It's
set
a
you.
good show. They canceled it way too.
They
fucking
did. It was a
early.
tragedy.
It's fucking awful. People.
The premise of the show is it is set in like 80s New York, where at the advent of hip hop turntablism, and it's not like it's a documentary, mind
Right,
you. This
okay.
is just historical fiction, if you could
Okay.
even call it that.
Yeah, it's
Loosely based off of Grandmaster Flash.
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
And the Furious Five. And it follows the story of this young MC who's kind of growing up in Harlem, I think, where he's watching these guys kind of do these underground hip hop party, the birth of hip hop, using looped disco tracks. And I was like, damn, is that really how it was? Again, like, not that I was just ignorant to the fact, but it had never been brought to my attention that this was the genesis of modern day, turntablism.
Right, disco,
And
funk, soul, yeah, all that, yeah. Motown.
And so,
yeah.
there's been a lot of moments in my life where luckily I surround myself with very, very good and well-traveled friends, and they'll just introduce me to sounds and be like, yo, did you know that this guy was the start of it? I remember back in 2018, my good friend Luciano, who lives down in Miami, who I'm going to go see in a few months, he put me on to Herbie Hancock, who is a legendary jazz musician that I was just woefully unaware of until I went to go see him, and we got to see him play live, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? And
That's
it
so
was the
dope.
coolest thing
so
to be
cool.
like, this guy was doing these sounds, and if you haven't heard of Herbie Hancock, Watermelon Man, Chameleon, top 2 tracks, whatever, those sounds were just so influential. These sounds from like, I don't know, it was like early 70, I think, is when those 2 tracks in particular came out. And when you listen to them, you're like, damn, when did this guy come out with this? And it's this super just funky bass line that sounds like it was ripped out of maybe like late 90s, like
Oh, wow.
jazz fusion type thing.
Wow.
And there's just millions of these stories of local sounds that then grow because they're limited to what's available to them. And so this is a long yarn to spin over the fact that some of my favorite stories in music are just when you hear a sound that has traveled internationally to become something else. Another story. I'm so sorry to be hijacking
brother,
this, but
stop.
This is you.
This is you. This is you.
this was this was a work trip a couple years ago that me and a friend she is Colombian, and we were just talking about music, and she was telling me the story of, this is gonna sound a little bit, the slave trade in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Okay.
And internet, correct me if any of this historical facts are incorrect, but it was a really riveting tale nonetheless. That because of the slave trade in the Caribbean, there was a lot of West African specifically influence
Yep.
in the sounds there,
Yep.
which typically you'll identify with like some kind of conga drum with a swing on the beat, right?
Right.
But there was a very specific town. I want to say it was called Pachanga, and the slaves there escaped, I think, to Pachanga. And a lot of the sound and music that they got there was influenced by the fact that they really didn't have a lot of instruments, and they were doing a lot of these like rhythmic things with the drum patterns and just a lot of vocalizing. And that became a sound called champeta, which was like eerily similar to a lot of these like Puerto Rican salsa songs. I was like, all right, let me dig into that a little bit more. Okay, so naturally, there was a migration from the people of kind of that North South American like coastline area into the Caribbean.
They think that the Venezuelans came and was the Taino. Like they think the natives came from Venezuela and they went to Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Well, the picture that got painted was the Puerto Ricans who are developing this sort of like Indo salsa sound. There was a huge population of Puerto Ricans that found their way into New York around the time of disco, 80s, 70s, right? And similarly, you have the migration of Chicago House moving into New York, bringing that classic soul sound, right? And so the context behind all of that is like, damn, no, this is why they were playing the stuff that they were playing. This is what made people move. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
That is pretty cool thinking about it that way. Yeah.
It's just like, damn, you know, the stars align for this particular, you know, rhythm to come out. And I love it. You know, it's just, there's millions of stories behind that.
That is
But that
pretty
is
cool thinking
true
about the
music
migration.
evolution right there.
Yeah,
You know?
like the advent of UK garage as distinct from New York garage. You know what I mean? Like how many times have you had to tell somebody, "Are we playing garage tonight? What are we playing?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like using genres as a way to classify something only helps the people putting on the show.
Right.
You know, like I'm the biggest genre snob of them all, and I'm like, I just wanted to organize my shit. You know?
Right. Right.
That's so cool.
A little bit of music history for you folks out there.
There you go. Today's segment, music history.
Hey, I love it.
There you go.
I'll
that's
do a
that's so-
docuseries. I wouldn't mind.
Dude,
Bro,
that would
that'd
be great.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I was reading a lot about that because I'm Puerto Rican Colombian. My dad's Colombian, and I wanted to know more about Puerto Rico. And just I have this book that just goes through the entire history and how people think that they came from Venezuela, went to Puerto Rico, and then like Puerto Rican music, Caribbean music is all like you have a mix of natives, you have the Europeans, and you have the Africans, and the music that came from there and then spread all over. It's insane. It's all crazy. That's why I feel like it's such a disrespect and weird to make music through a computer when you have thousands upon thousands of years of history to make this culmination of stuff and then to have like some fucking robot do it. Like
No, it does. It's the AI thing is like plagiarism, but so much worse. And I know everyone's like, oh, they don't care, and it's fine. Like, I get why you wouldn't give a shit. You know, if you're not a huge music buff or history buff or whatever, like it doesn't really matter to you. It's just sounds coming through your computer anyway. But like, I don't know. Jake plays that AI. Shit, was it?
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like a country cover of Paint It Black.
Yeah,
and he's like, it's like some guy literally typed in like Paint It Black, but he called it blues rock version. And I'm like, Paint It Black is by the Rolling Stones, which was a blues rock band. So what? And it's just like Creed mixed with Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
And singing Paint It Black. Oh yeah. You know, it's like it's not bad. Like you listen to the song and like, okay, I can get why someone would add this to their playlist. But it's like it's so perfect that it's not perfect. Like it's so perfectly unoriginal because you can see and hear, if you're a musicologist, like an amateur musicologist, you can hear the exact elements that it's pulling from and then warping to make this original song, like original remix. And like
you look at it,
it's fucked up because you can't put an identity to it. Like there's no soul behind the human that's singing it. Even though someone on the surface level might be like, "Oh, listen to that guy's voice." It's like,
Well,
what guy? He has no vocal cords. What are you talking about?
I think when people show me AI shit like that, there's difference. There's a kind of a like, it's AI. And people usually like laugh at it. They're like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" Like, "Oh my god, can you believe that?" Huh? But if somebody was to do that, if somebody got a band together and actually do it in person and do their version of it, their cover. Everyone would have the same reaction of like, wow, that's so cool. Versus like, that's cool. I'm sure. Isn't that weird? Or like, ugh. Like, there's not, with AI, there's no more level of like, wow, that's That's really crazy.
Right.
That's awesome.
And you can't talk about where the samples are being pulled from at that point because like it's not sampling. It's it's generative. You know, it's not there's no homage being paid. There's no understanding or like history being discovered. Like it's just blah.
Well,
One-dimensional.
and I think you guys are both nailing it 100%. Like it is an issue in the sense that I think the proper respect isn't due. You know what I mean? Like when you're just using AI and you get your average Joes who share it and like, it gets that track or piece of art in general or content in general, it gets it traction regardless of who shared it. And I think the reality is that there's far fewer people who actually care to the extent that we would that, than there are that people who don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, where do you draw the line? And it's hard to kind of put myself or other people that feel similarly on the pedestal of, well, we're like the historians who want to keep the context and keep the conversation about it alive when, the vast majority of people don't care. You know what I mean? And I think the same argument could be made for something like an open format DJ, which I know you guys are very familiar with. It's like the vast majority of people really don't care that you found this track at 3 a.m. driving home on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
Like as much as we would, and, honestly, so I started doing open format. Like I met a guy and was doing trivia nights and weddings and karaoke's and bar mitzvahs and the whole thing. And again, this was before I really started doing this Papa Bean project. This was years ago. And I learned a lot about the business side of things. We did a lot of like retirement homes and like private parties, and we did a few millennial weddings and stuff like that, and it was fun. But what I learned was that was not why I wanted to do DJing, and like, yes, you can absolutely get paid as a good open format DJ. It works that way. But the truth of that is that people, the money for DJing isn't being a curator. It isn't being like a deep digger, which I would consider myself at this point, and I think this is all within the conversation of using kind of over popularized things that the average person just resonates with on a pop format level,
Right.
That's what sells. And unfortunately, I think that means AI generated music is probably here to stay without more influence of groups like, what was it, Bandcamp? That decided that they're going to pull all AI tracks.
Yeah, good for them.
So like
Good for
without
Bandcamp.
the influence of major platforms like that, it's just going to be here because 90% of people aren't going to be able to tell the difference.
Well, that's you hit it right on the fucking nail because it is the major platforms. It is they're either going to embrace it or they're going to push it away. And so you have people like Spotify who, unless you're uploading silence, they're not going to strike you. Or you have people like Bandcamp who are going to meticulously go through all their shit and remove anything.
Shout out to Bandcamp for that one.
For putting on for the crowd.
Good
Man.
shit.
I mean, Bandcamp has my money. It's worth it to crate dig at 3 a.m. and find somebody's track that two people have listened to and should be being played on a main stage. And then being able to buy that track for like 50 cents or $1. And no, you supported them, but at the same time you didn't get fleeced by like Beatport or something. I don't know. It's a great program.
And just to be clear, we're not being sponsored by Bandcamp right now.
No, we're not. But
Maybe.
if you want to,
That'd be great.
well, that's I think like with Universal Music Group and shit, like all of them are against AI because they have artists who are like, no, you can't fucking monetize that shit, blah, blah, blah. I'm making music, blah, blah, blah. Until those artists, as some of them are selling their rights away. Like, yeah, sure, use it for whatever. I don't care. Until it starts becoming the norm to sell it. And then obviously like Bandcamp or like Spotify or whatever, places that aren't necessarily paying for AI, like some of the, like you said, Bandcamp is a good one that has when Universal comes and is like, hey, you're gonna start paying for AI now because we have all of our artists who say it's okay. So like, yeah, let's start making AI music.
Right.
There's gonna hit that level. It hasn't hit there yet, but I think there will hit a level. And then that's when it's just like music is dead. And I think it's just like a part where like I think it's also on the responsibility of the parents. Like you learned your music from your parents and having it around and stuff. You learned music from your parents. I learned music from my parents. I think a lot of kids now just like parents don't really like care. Like you said, they're maybe their parents didn't teach them.
Right.
Because
There's just non-musical
there needs
families.
to be Yeah, it's like music is a core cultural family thing. And if you're not taught it, then you won't appreciate it. And when you appreciate it is where we stop having the AI music and we stop having like these big corporations decide what we want to hear and everything like that. Like, it's just like, you know, I have people that I work with that like they're 22, 21, and I hear them playing some like early 2000s track. I'm like, that's cool. But then they just show me new shit. I'm like, bro, that kind of sucks. And they're like, yeah, but it's whatever. And I'm like, that's such a bad.
That's a terrible answer.
That's like, and I hate so many. It's just like, yeah, but it's like, it's just a TikTok thing. It's like, whatever. I'm like, yeah, you think it's whatever, but yet you're still showing it to me and playing it. Like,
right, you're sharing
why
it,
show
you're
me
engaging
something-
in it, you're interacting with it.
why show me
like-
something so fucking ass? Like,
Right.
just because like everybody else is showing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people just need to start caring about music. You guys, everyone cares about politics, right? Care about music. Care about something that's also so culturally like big and expressing yourself and having a movement behind it. So
You go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna add to the AI thing. I think one thing that has
it's turned into an AI rant.
it has.
Sorry.
Well, just the music thing in particular, it's hard for people to rally behind something for more than one song unless it has a face to it. I mean, that's the same thing with regular like music artists and people who are putting out a brand and stuff. Like you have a Papa Bean project, right? Like you identified as you identified as a different project before, but it's still the same guy. And at the end of the day, you're the face on the brand, and like people see you and they're like, oh, that's Papa Bean. You can't really do that with an AI artist. You can't perform as an AI artist. You can perform as like fucking Richard Finger and, you know, like have a name out there that no one knows who you are. You hardly have any tracks released. And as soon as you release a track, the biggest DJs in the world are playing that track before a bedroom DJ can even download it. Like that's pretty close to AI, but it's not, because at least, you know, someone's, whether it's a ghost writer,
Yeah.
ghost producer, whatever, like someone is creating that, and then someone is on stage wearing a mask performing it. It could be AI generated for all, you know, for all we know, it could just be an AI project, but like you have to have a face on it to market it, or someone wearing a mask or
Yeah.
something like that, you know? So I always wonder about that, like with Marshmello, you know, I mean, there are rumors that it's multiple guys that wear the mask, you know, that it's not just one person,
That's interesting.
but you know, there's collab projects and all kinds of stuff that people don't identify it, but it's still there. Whereas the AI thing, it's kind of not. It's barely even there, except for a single upload on YouTube or like something like that. But
True.
I think it's important you bring that up because I think there's absolutely, you know, the cult of personality effect, right? Where you get acts like the Gorillas or
I was
Hatsune
just about to
or
fucking,
Hatsune
yep.
Miku or who was it back in the 60s? It was like sugar baby, you know, sugar, oh honey. That was not an actual band.
Really?
Like,
I didn't know
I
that.
forget what the name of that group was, but that was a
AI back in the 60s.
It was a constructed thing.
Really?
That just sold. And I think you're right. Like they need something to sell.
Yeah.
But I don't think AI hides behind that. I think AI will absolutely be able to just market itself, or somebody operating and driving the wheel could very easily come up with a brand to sell, much in the same way that Marshmello or the Gorillas came out. You know, I think what's going to end up happening, and I'm going to call this right now, so in posterity, 10 years from now, when you know
You can look back at
call
this YouTube video.
I think there's going to be this trend of people who like are very good at coming up with AI prompts. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's going to be that
Yeah.
class of artist, and I don't think there's anything we can do about it other than don't consume it.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
That's it.
I think a good majority of people will consume it, and it's getting harder and harder to tell what is and isn't AI, regardless of
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
you know,
by
so-
month, it gets harder and harder
It's
for
by
sure.
fucking month, by day. It's ridiculous, and I think that with all this fucking AI shit, it's just ridiculous, and I think it's too like how you said, like just don't consume it. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Don't consume it, but also like it's being consumed by itself with all these bots and everything.
Yeah,
and
the
that's why
AI
it's
is
like
consuming itself. for
everyone.
sure.
I could be like,
Dead internet theory.
hey, I didn't like Kendrick's last album. You didn't like Kendrick. You didn't. Okay, I haven't met somebody who really does. But for some reason, it has 1 billion plays. How the fuck? or Drake's album or whoever's album. It's like, we're gonna put out. I just saw they fucking got a guy. He made $10 million and they arrested him for like money laundering or some shit or whatever they wanted to put it as. But dude made an AI band, put it on Spotify, and paid bots to play his shit and got paid $10 million. I'm like, but the big fucking record labels are doing the same shit.
Yeah, they're doing the same exact
like,
thing.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's then it's like,
good for that guy.
Good for right.
Sign me up for
Unless
his payment
he-
plan. Like that's
bro, that's so. It's like
Sucks he got fucking smacked.
they got him
sniped.
They sniped that motherfucker. But it's just
That's one thing.
it's,
Spotify does not play with their bots. That is the one thing they do
Yeah.
not fuck with small artists. Yeah, like you said, labels. That's fine.
labeled. Yeah, yeah, of
But
course.
these small artists, bot farming. No.
It's like the IRS. It's like the IRS. It's like, yeah, this big they're, they failed their audit, but you owe $200.
Yeah, fuck you.
What are you doing over here?
it's easier to go after the little guy, right?
Yeah,
It's-
100%.
That's the sucky part of life.
Besides that, what's new for you, bro?
Good question. So I am doing another event down in Bradenton. My good friend Steve, aka Croy Boy, he just opened up this new speakeasy down there called Kiss and Tell.
Ooh.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I went there about a month ago for their kind of grand soft opening on a weekday. Then they did a harder launch on the weekend. But either way, I'm very excited to be playing there, and kind of he asked me to curate like a classic house night, and I was very excited to do that.
Yes.
So I'll be bringing myself. It'll be who else is coming? Fanny Joy, who is Zero Proof's wife.
Nice.
Zero Proof will be playing, and then my good man Teddy Rux will also be there.
Wonderful.
When is that?
This is going to be this Saturday night,
This Saturday.
February 7th.
Unfortunately, this will not view before then.
That's okay.
But hell yeah.
But
hope you went February 7th.
The good news
We'll
on
shout it out. We'll go.
the good news of that one though will be that Steve has asked me to do a monthly event there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
Moving forward, I am going to be very cognizant about curating things. And again, like I'm not a selfish curator. I want to put other people first. And just kind of depending on the whims of that month, I'm going to just see what's going on and what kind of sound I can put on. So, I have no dreams of becoming the world's greatest promoter. I have a lot to learn on marketing side of things. Shout out to Facebook for being a pain in the butt to link to my Instagram. I can't boost posts for whatever reason.
Fucking God.
it's ass, bro.
Dude,
No,
I've been
I think
trying
that's
for
just
months.
Meta. You know what's really stupid too is that Meta now has TikTok in America. So Meta owns Facebook, Insta, and TikTok, and we are now at the whim of their fucking algorithm.
I'm gonna
and
be-
boosts and ads and all.
Give me a
this
hot
shit.
take. Go ahead, say it.
No, this isn't so much
No.
a hot take. I'm very proud of how I've curated my algorithm on Instagram because now, nope, not that. I need to go into this. Okay, so let's just for the cameras here. I'm very cognizant about what my algorithm feeds me. Okay, I hate social media, so now all I ever see on it is this,
Dogs.
which is
Oh, show the explore page.
let's
show
see,
the
let's see.
explore
All right,
page.
so we're gonna come right in here.
Doggos.
Oh,
There's a cow in here. There's a raccoon.
Wow.
This is
Animals.
just animals all over the place.
Dr.
I just,
Doolittle.
how'd you do that? Was it painstaking or did you
Dude,
like
so I think
reset?
I-
Did you do it? How did you do a reset?
I think I reached that point maybe middle of last year or so, and it's been this ever since.
Wow.
But it was just a ton of report, block, don't show me this, not interested.
Stop showing me your boobies. I want dogs.
I mean, but truly, and we're talking about the algorithm, like it
Dude.
force feeds you a lot of stuff.
just
and
for
it's like-
being a man on Instagram.
or even if
absolutely
your friend sends you one thing and you like
Brother,
his
that's
sent
it.
message, and you're like, man,
the memes that I see have been my friends send me some horrendous memes, some really dark shit. And then I'll just be scrolling, like I'll show my girlfriend like, oh, let's, look at this funny video. And then the next one, it's another treacherous I'm like, I swear to God, I'm not like this. This is I don't
You're
find
a
this
little
funny.
bit like this. Come on now.
and
Sorry.
truth be told, too, I am grateful. Like all the memes that I get sent from people, like I still will laugh at them. But
Yeah.
yes, I'm not gonna like that video that you sent.
Not
I cannot be
interactive.
caught
Like it by
lacking.
accident. Just all of a sudden,
Dude,
just
the
force fed.
accidental reposts are what kill me. I'll
my
try to
God.
All the
swipe
time.
something and
Or I
I'll
wanna
repost.
I wanna
it, like,
read the
no,
comments.
No.
Cancel him. Done for. That's so awesome.
I will also have to say, so that is one event that I'm doing on the 7th, but I'm also
Very cool.
doing an event with YZ Paul. He's doing a beach party at the
yeah.
Skyway on the 7th as well.
Oh, wow.
And so that's going to be, so it's a good, nice and easy day to travel to Bradenton that day for me. So I'll be doing that. And then on the 6th, I'm doing I think I'm opening at Chiller, just
Oh,
for the hell of it. I'm just playing there
Love
one
that.
night. Yeah,
Chiller's
I
the
know
best.
this isn't airing before then, but
Hey man,
On the 6th.
I'm sorry I'm sorry that we got you in so early.
Oh,
Do you have
don't-
anything in like 2 or 3 weeks?
no. No, and honestly, that's okay. Like I like I
comes
mentioned
and goes
before,
in
If
waves, for
if
sure.
something does pop up, send us like a video of you talking about it, and we'll. Post
you
it.
got it. I will do that. I think for a lot of what I do, it like you said, it comes in waves, and I'm in no rush to kind of force everything. I know where my priorities lie. Like I work and I've got my family that I love hanging out with them now that I get to see them more often, and you know, I'm in no rush. You know, I play a support role. You know, if somebody's putting on an event and they want me there, I will help put it on. You know,
awesome.
Arguably, I probably need to be more forthright about just asking venues like, "Hey, put me on," but no rush.
But I think you're living the dream, bro. You had your goal, like you said. You got the house and you're chilling. You have your family, and now you're on like this whole new side mission kind of thing that is slowly progressing into like, you know, something even bigger, which is so dope. People can only, you know, pray for that, because usually people are trying to do their like, you know, side mission the same time as their main mission and conflicts and stuff. You like got the like really hard part out the way, so now you can, I feel like, focus a good bit.
It is funny because, like you mentioned, there's like this kind of group of youngins, and it feels weird to say that I'm 30 and also hanging out, you know. But it's at the same time, like, I don't know, we're just all playing music. Like, I don't really care what
I
you're
think
at.
it got
you know?
really commonplace for that like 25 to 35 age group to be the main one that's out, because ideally you have your life figured out a little bit more. You know what your off time looks like. You know how to manage your funds. You know how to like manage your time, and so you're responsibly engaging in the scene. Versus when you're under 25, you're stretching yourself thin and going for 24,
And
48, 72
Lord
hours
knows
at a
I was.
time. And
Yeah.
right. So, you
Oof.
know, that's good. It'd be a good influence, right?
It's been nice. It's been enjoyable.
Oh yeah, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Are you ready to play a set?
I'll play some tracks.
Play those little play those-
Yeah.
I'll play some tracks. You guys want me to hop on now?
Yeah. Thank you. Well, hold on. We're going to do a little sign off. And then in 30 seconds, we'll have you play the track. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been episode 304 of The Final Mix with our guest, Papa Bean. Thank
Heyo.
you so much for being here, dude.
appreciate it.
Enjoy the set. Peace out, y'all.
Take me. Take me. I come to you pure as the day I was born, to bring to you my heart and soul. I welcome you to enter into my life, to take control of me. 'Cause everywhere I go, I feel you. And every time I call, I see you. I know you really love me. So I surrender completely. Take me as I am. Come on and take me. Accept me for what I'm not. Take me as I am. me, yeah, yeah, that we hold. I'll just use my imagination, 'cause it's always gonna turn out right. Please don't confuse my emotions and let me be alone tonight. I need someone to be there and to hold me when the rain falls. Oh, won't you be the one to be there for me when the rain falls down? Let it fall, let it all fall. Let it all fall. Time is not ours anymore. It's the precious moments we share. Feel your heart beat with mine. I know what's on your mind. Step by step, we're losing control. Take a chance, it'll be forever, and you never have to say goodbye. Fill me up for a lifetime. Don't let me be alone tonight. I need someone to be there and to hold me when the rain falls. Won't you be the one to be there for me when the rain falls down? I need someone to be there and to hold me when the rain falls. When it falls, won't you be the one to be there for me when the rain falls down? Let it fall, let it all fall. You'll be there when it falls. Let it all fall down.